This hot weather is getting a bit too much. It's getting a bit too much. Everything's melting. We're having to put the old people in cold storage. You turn the tap on and dust comes out. It's just too much. Us Brits, we're not used to this kind of weather. So it's about time the cold, the wind and the rain came back, because we're used to moaning about that. But Christ on a bike, I mean, I'm sweating all the time. I'm having to have like 3 showers a day. Anyway, enough of that. Welcome back to another episode of Adam's Eats. Now, before I get into the video, I just want to quickly announce that I'll be doing a live stream on Wednesday at 7 PM BST, which is British summertime. I have already created an event for that, but as we all know, YouTube are not very good at alerting subscribers. I've had a few people contact me that the last live event I created, even though I created it in advance and let you guys know, YouTube just decided not to notify some of you. So that's what I'm telling you now, in the hopes that you'll see this message. Go to my last video, you'll see it's all up. And to save you time trying to convert times from BST to ET, MT or whatever, just click the little button on the video that says set reminder, and then you get notified once I go live. Now, I won't go into details about the live stream because all that information is in the description. So we'll just crack on with this video. And what am I making? Well, I'm going to show you how to make a very basic coleslaw. Really simple to make. Yes, you can buy it in the shops and it's perfectly acceptable. You know, if you have it in a sandwich for a picnic or something like that, then that's fine. But if you want something a bit more special, a bit nicer, you know, if you've got friends coming over for a barbecue, you've made a nice big fat juicy burger and you want something nice to go with it, then this is the coleslaw for you. And it's going to taste banging whatever you have with it. So let's crack on with it. If you look down below the description, you can get a list of what you need. And as always, if you press that pause button now, you can get a list of them there as well. So now you know what we're doing, let's go crack on with it. Right then, let's have a look at our bag of ingredients. Got some mayo. Use a good mayo. I'm using Hellmann's because it's good. No, this isn't sponsored. It's not really worth making your own mayo for this because you're not really going to tell the difference. The carrots, the red cabbage and some white cabbage. I've got some salt and a little bit of refreshment for me. That's not going in the coleslaw. That's going in me. I'm not a beer review channel, but I tell you what, if you've not tried this, Hop House 13 Lager, it's a damn good beer. Now, very, very simple to put this coleslaw together. What we're first going to do is to slice our cabbage. I'm just taking off some of these outer leaves because they're looking a bit ropey. And then what I'm going to do is just take about 1/4 of this. And all I'm going to do is just to slice it into nice, thin strips, and much like an onion, it comes in nice strands when you separate it. Okay, just like that. So I'm going to carry on slicing through this cabbage, and then you just want to do the same thing with the red cabbage as well. Right, okay, so once you've sliced up your cabbages, you can see I've got them in a bowl here, roughly about the same quantity of each. Now I'm just going to transfer this to a colander because I need to give this a bit of a wash, just to get rid of any dust and dirt and anything like that. And then we'll go and give this a rinse. Right, so once you've rinsed the cabbage, make sure it's nice and dry, just dab it out on a clean tea towel or some paper towel, and I've got it back in the bowl here. And the next thing we need to do is add the carrots. Now, ratio wise, you're looking at 2 parts cabbage to 1 part carrot. So I reckon about 2 carrots will be fine for this. So I'm just going to peel these. Okay, I'm just going to top and tail these. It might be worth wearing some rubber gloves when handling red cabbage because it kind of stains your fingers purple, and it also stains your chopping board purple as well. Right, now there's 2 options here. You could spend ages slicing these carrots nice and thinly, but really you're going to be there for ages. So either use a box grater, or you can do what I'm doing, and that's put it in the food processor on the grating attachment. Right, okay, so now I've grated up the carrot, we can add that in. Ratio looks about right. Let's give it a light mix. Right, so now we can start adding the mayonnaise. Now the secret to this is you don't want too much mayonnaise, otherwise it's going to be too heavy, it's going to sit on your stomach. You know, you want that nice balance. So just add about sort of 3 or 4 tablespoons first, and then just start to mix that in. You can see at the moment that's still quite dry, so we know we need to add some more. But remember, you can always add more, you can't take away. So it's all about using your eye really, rather than a strict recipe. Okay, so I've added that much in, still not quite enough, so we'll add some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now also what you've got to remember is we're going to add some lemon zest and juice to this, so that's going to thin it out a bit as well, so we don't want to make it too mayo-y. Mayo-y? Is that a real word? Okay, so that's kind of the consistency we're looking for at the moment. If you want to add a bit more mayo, then go ahead, but personally, I don't like it too heavy with mayo. So we've got all that mixed in there. Now to that, we're going to add some salt and pepper. I'm going to use some white pepper. Just start off with a little bit, probably about 1/4 teaspoon, and just a pinch of sea salt. Also be very careful with how much salt you add, because depending on the brand of mayonnaise that you're using, also depends on how salty it is, because some of the own brand shop bought mayonnaises can be really salty, so just watch that. Okay, just mix that in. Next thing I'm going to add is some mustard. Now you can use whole grain, you can use beer mustard, you could use French mustard, it's entirely up to you. But I'm using English mustard, and I'm going to go in with about 1.5 teaspoons, and that's just going to give it a bit of heat and just make it a bit more interesting. Now I'm just going to give it a quick taste just to see how we're getting on so far. That mustard in there is brilliant. Really gives it an extra kick. Does need some extra seasoning. Now for a bit of freshness, I'm going to add some lemon zest. Probably about half a lemon. Then I'm just going to cut the lemon in half on my chopping board over here, and then I'm going to add the juice of half a lemon as well. Now I got these lemons from Marks and Spencer's, and they've got no pips in them apparently, so that's useful. Again, let's mix that all through, and I think it does need just a touch more salt and pepper. Now it just needs one more ingredient. Now I'm using white wine vinegar, but you can use cider vinegar by all means, and I'm just going to add 1.5 capfuls. So I'd say that's about 1.5 teaspoons. And then just to balance it out, I'm going to add a pinch of sugar. So I'm going to give it one final taste. That's delicious. It's got a bit of heat, it's crunchy, it's fresh, it's not too heavy on the mayonnaise, and that vinegar and that lemon juice just freshens it up, cuts through that mayonnaise, and honestly it's probably one of the most easiest things you're going to make. Well, there we have it, really simple coleslaw to make. Now I strongly recommend that once you've made it, that you keep it in the fridge for 1 to 2 hours before you serve it, just to allow those flavours to develop, everything to kind of mellow out and mingle together, and you'll have a much better coleslaw at the end of it. I mean, it's perfectly edible as it is, but by leaving it, it's just going to mature and get better and better and better. So if you're having a barbecue, a meal, make it a couple of hours beforehand, and then it's ready to go. And on that note, this about wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching. I'm turning into Chris the Butcher, but I just, you know, it's so hot. I need a cold beer. It just soothes you. It keeps you nice and cool. But if you like this video, then please stick a like down below, leave a comment, share across your social media platforms, because I do appreciate it. And if you'd like to show some support, then hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you stick around at the end, there'll be some links to some other videos. And if you'd like to subscribe, there'll be a button for that as well. And I'll see your beautiful faces on Wednesday for the live stream, and bye for now. Wow.